30, we'll call to order the Fitchburg Board of Public Works meeting for November 1st, 2021. Attending tonight, we have Scott from Fact TV, Director of Public Works, Mr. Bill Balke, Dave Wilburn, myself in chambers, and via Zoom, we have Jim Wheeler and Michael Granetsky. First, public appearances for non-agenda items. Did the Nietzels call in? I don't see them here. Okay. If they call in, we can come back. Next, agenda item 3, approval of minutes on the October 18th, 2021 meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
I so move to approve.
Moved by Wilborn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Granetsky. Discussion. Any changes, additions? See none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, agenda item 4, review items. This was one I put on. 4A, discussion of 2022 stormwater project prioritization. So Bill is going to put up on the screen, he's going to put up a list, and once it's up, I'll talk a little more here. Okay, so we see a list up there, 10 projects, the CIP number, and a short description. And where this came from, last week at the Council of the Whole, we're reviewing amendments to the budget. It was proposed for delaying a fair amount of stormwater projects till next year. We were concerned, the Alder was concerned, we wouldn't have the bandwidth to complete these projects. Discussion kind of went round and round, and asked Bill, which ones do you think? And Bill correctly responded back, you guys set the agenda. And part of this is coming. I would add, our stormwater engineer is going to be away for a while, and Bill will be assuming that duty temporarily. So we were concerned. So I volunteered. I said, let me look at the list and let me prioritize it. And then if we agree, then this would be the priority for Bill to be working on these projects. And so whatever we could get done, in this year. I don't expect we'd be able to get all of them, but they had different priorities. So if we look, I'll just go through them quick. The one I put the highest, the Sherrill Drive, that was to coordinate. We have a road project going the same time this year, so they kind of need to fit together. Next, the Lacey Seminole Pond. I believe that was a priority 1. Was it on the bill?
Yeah, that was priority 1 because it's going with the Lacey Road construction next year.
Yep. Okay. So I tried to pick ones that fit in with. We had other construction that needed to go, so that's how I came up with the list. And being aware of the problems we had, that's how I came up with the 1 through 10, and would ask Bill to work on them in this priority. But I wanted the board to see that it's not set in stone. If you had a different idea, I'd like to hear it. Jim has seen all these before from the council meeting. But Michael and Dave, you had any reason to want to move any of these?
I'm just getting down here right now, Dave. I don't see anything that I would want to have out of here.
Okay. Michael, any thoughts?
So, and maybe I'm thinking a little bit further on down the road. Goose Lake isn't on this list. I know that's been a high priority for a while.
Yeah, that is out.
Okay.
Correct, that's out a couple of years yet for capital.
Yeah, these were projects, 20 that were on the list for 2022.
And my apologies if I got
No, that's all right, Michael. It's hard to keep track of. Yeah, that one jumps to the top of your mind as a priority, obviously. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then downtown or down south, on M, kind of where Fitchburg and Oregon meet up.
Lake Barney?
Lake Barney, thank you.
Yeah. That's similar, that's
That's
out,
similar.
that's out,
Okay.
Couple years, you know?
couple years, I believe. or at
Isn't
least-
it, Bill?
Yes, it's either 24 or 25.
Yeah.
You know, as I look at these, like, some people will question the Curry Court that I have down there a ways. You know, we've had a lot of studies, we've had a lot of, we've had some meetings, you know, we brought the neighborhood in and they weren't really all that, you know, our solution, they weren't really they weren't really in favor of it. Not sure it would do anything, so I left it where it is. We do have a plan, you know, that I think would take care of, a plan that would solve some of the problem, you know, not entirely, but some of the things like the modeling, that's kind of a requirement that fits in. The Seminole Glen study, we've had very many neighbors comment on that and asked us to look at it, get it moving. So that's just a study. It's certainly not you know, we don't know what the remediation is, but I thought, you know, Bill could get the RFP out for the study on it to give us some options on that. You know, certainly pond dredging and is a big priority for me, but that could probably fall off the table for a year. It does have consequences, and the drainage and flooding, you know, those are kind of spot ones. Hopefully you have another year like this where, you know, nothing is jumping up and biting us. So I kind of took my best shot at looking at what's higher priority, what has to be done this year, you know, what could wait. And so again, I'm not married to this list, but I wanted to give Bill the priority, you know, set the priority for him.
So is there a fear that we're not going to get all this work done?
I think Bill, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I just from a capacity standpoint, the number of projects that I would have to manage the first 5 months of the year or 4 months of the year, it's a lot to do with my additional duties. So if there were some that could slide to later than the year or to next year, that's primarily why we're asking to do that, unless we have the additional staff to be able to help out with that. One thing that I would just kind of bring up is item number 7, that Uptown Wet Pond. That development there is, we are working with a developer to do a large development in the Uptown area in 2023, that we would need to get the design done in 22 and permitted for that construction to take place. So without that pond being in place in 23, we would be stopping development in that area. So that did receive kind of like a 2+ rating from me to just be bumped up a little bit higher in the ratings, just from our perspective.
All right, so what about moving that to 5? And the other 5 and 6 down.
Put 5 at 6 and 6 at 7,
Yeah,
and move number 7 up to 5.
yeah.
And I do have an update. Our stormwater engineer was able to get out a number of requests for proposals prior to her leaving. So we do have the, hold on a second. Seminole Glen out for bid right now.
Oh, okay.
We also have the TMDL modeling out for bid, the Dunn's Marsh out for bid, and Curry Court out for a change order update. So we've got those out there right now, and we'll get proposals in between now and December, mid-December, for updates on those.
Okay. Thank you. Did I change any of your thinking here, having no, less for you to get out the door here?
Right.
Are there any other things that were still kind of ongoing maintenance for the stormwater, not necessarily projects, but other things that we would still be doing as part of our kind of normal business process here?
I think, well, these were the CIP ones, that,
Okay.
the older to propose, deferring these, was trying to reduce the levy in the stormwater next year. And also she felt, we might not be able to get all these done. So I think maybe what your question might be a little outside of what we were asked for on here, Michael. Bill, maybe
Okay.
you can answer it if there are some stormwater things, maintenance, answer Bill.
Hey, Dave, I got a question.
Yes, Jim?
Will this reduce the stormwater levy by delaying these?
By delaying some would this year, it would transfer it, we have approximate idea what these are gonna cost, and the levy would not, if we delayed some of these, and that's really a council decision, Jim. But if we delayed some, the levy would be, this year, would be lower, it'd be less of an increase, is that correct, Bill?
Yeah, that's correct. What you'd be looking at is kind of leveling out the peaks and valleys of the expenses over the stormwater utility. So instead of doing like, say, a 7% next year, maybe you do a 3 and a 3. The expenses will still be there, it just will be at a different period of time. So it wouldn't be a gigantic increase over 1 year. It would be more leveled out.
Okay, but it won't decrease the increase that I already went through. I guess that's what I'm asking.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Jim and I may have more discussion, on this at council, but, all right, thank you, appreciate your input. Move on to, the report of the department head, Mr. Bill Walke.
All right, we're finishing up the last bit of Sain Road with the surface paving this week. Hopefully, if the weather holds out, we need weather above 40 degrees and climbing in order to finish that. So if they're out there, we're lucky, I guess, with the cold weather we got coming. Fish Hatchery Road is wrapping up. We should start to see the barrels come off the road in a couple of weeks. They're finishing up the street lighting, the landscaping, and then they'll be pulling those barrels off for winter, and we can start plowing it, unfortunately. Then engineering-wise, with the budget, we're prioritizing our projects and trying to come up with a better sense of how we're going to get the work done. So we do have some staff that's going to be out long-term, and especially in the stormwater area, that it might take a little while for us to get responses back, but maybe our responses will be it's taken a while to get it done, but we still have you on the list. So we'll make sure to keep everybody up to date on that as we go forward. And all of the updates for the stormwater projects and engineering projects. We're going through a refresh on our website, so we're looking to get those projects updated, and so it's a little bit more easier to be able to access those and get updates. The Notify Me, we're trying to use that a lot more now, so that residents can sign up for that. And then whenever there's a change in the project status, they'll get an email, text, or phone call with a message saying, there's been an update to the project, so they can check it out. So that's pretty much what we've got going on. We're getting ready for snow season, getting the trucks ready, and hopefully it won't snow until like May.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Thank you, Bill. Any questions for Bill? Bill, just for the public information, how many large plow trucks will we have out in a major storm event?
We've got 11 plow trucks plowing over 120 miles of road.
Okay. And the parks, well, what do they have? What are they?
They have a variety of equipment, tool cats, pickup trucks that they plow the trails with. And last I counted, I think it was like 19 miles of trails that we have to do.
It's pretty substantial, most people, when you hear we're approaching 20 miles of trails that we end up plowing, it's a good number. Okay. Any other questions for Bill? All right, thank you, Bill. Next, agenda item 6 alpha, resolution R20421, approving a joint funding agreement with the U.S. Geological Survey for the USGS Swan Creek Monitoring Station. Do we have a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve.
Moved by Wheeler, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Granetsky. Bill, could you give the background on this?
Sure. We've got a monitoring station for stormwater on Swan Creek that was installed earlier this year under a maintenance or an installation agreement with USGS, United States Geological Society, Town of Dunn, City of Fitchburg, and also the Wabisa Wetlands. There's a group there, I forget what their name is, but they did a capital contribution to that as well. There's ongoing maintenance that we have every year for this to do the testing, and USGS they separated that contract out for us to do the maintenance on that, or to do the testing, and they give us an estimate every year. This year it's going to be $20,000, and to perform that testing, the City of Fitchburg will pay $15,000 of that cost, and USGS will support that with $5,000 of offset on the testing. The City of Fitchburg has an agreement with the Town of Dunn that they will pay an ongoing maintenance cost for testing of $2,000 per year. It could go up depending on the amount of testing that we do, or it could go down. But basically, it's that percentage of testing that they are participating in as a cost share.
Thank you, Bill. Would I be correct in saying, this project, it's, we want kind of a pre-development and post-development to monitor the runoff?
Yeah, what we're looking for out of this project is to monitor the health of the stream that goes into the Wabisa wetlands. Development is part of it. We also have a large amount of agricultural land that goes into there.
Okay.
So the monitoring, we'll attempt to separate how much of that is agricultural, how much of that is development, so that we can know that our practices that we're putting in place for development, at least, are making a good impact on the stream.
Okay, thank you. Very good explanation. Any questions for Bill? See none, we'll call the vote. All in favor of resolution R20421 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, agenda item 7 alpha. The next Board of Public Works meeting will be November 15th at 5:30. I'll be attending that via Zoom. I'll be working up in Appleton that week, but I will call in and can share via Zoom. Or I may have, if Mr. Wheeler can be here, I might have him chair too. I'll talk to him about it. Does anyone know that they're not going to be able to attend? Okay. Sounds good. Then I would, we have a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Moved by Wilburn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Granetsky. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
We are adjourned.